So you said like you made probably more phone calls, more cold, and I've heard you say this. You've made more cold calls than probably anybody that I know, and
Yes.
you were detached from this idea of rejection. But I feel like today, so many loan officers, and myself included, at many times, it there is a real fear of objection, and I think some people just really take things personal, even though we know it's a numbers game and we know that you got to make the reps. And, if you ask enough people, you'll get enough of the right responses. And in a really difficult market like we've been in the last couple of years, the people that are doing well are the people that have double, triple, quadrupled down on their prospecting activity. But that's going to come with what is a lot of rejection in people's minds. But I have to imagine you reframe that to maybe not. I mean, we say the word rejection, but is it really rejection when someone just doesn't need your services today? Or how do you deal with that rejection? Do you reframe it? Do you not feel like it's a negative thing against you, or do you just, not care and move on? Like, let's talk about that piece a little bit, because I believe most people won't admit it, but it holds more people back than want to really recognize.
It's a important thought and an important question you bring up. And I think I always joke around the most rejected man in mortgage, right? Because I've made lots of cold calls, dude, right? And I think uh, I would be lying to you if I still, at the level that I'm at, do not get a little nervous when I'm making big calls. I mean, I'm making big time calls now at this level in my career, Tony. I mean, I call authors of books, right? Like I reach out to more, like the level is up, but like I built that type of strength and stamina. You understand? Like it started off cold calling a person on the south side of Chicago that had $120,000 mortgage with a 9% WAMU. Like you start places. You understand? I think people have to remember, I would say three things, Tony, that I've observed being a top performing salesperson and coaching some of the best now in the country, right? The people that have a fear of rejection, they truly don't do enough reps. When I break it down, I say, okay, like this is super objective. Be honest with me. The last 30 days, how many people did you actually call? A, they don't track it. And if you don't track, you don't care. B, I go, well, did you prepare for these calls? And if they don't give me a direct answer, I know it's a lie. When they ramble, I'm like, it's a lie. Or they're just not being honest. I'm like, okay, if you don't prepare, you don't care. We have to first get our target avatar. Who are we going after? Then we have to study that avatar. What do they really need? Then we have to create what I call an LVP, a lender value proposition that perfectly encapsulates how you serve that person because it gives you confidence to articulate it. And then you have to be okay knowing if they say no and O, it just means they know me now. KNOW. No equals no. We have to keep adding people in the buyer cycle. Some are perfect timing, some are early cycle. We need more. And when you have more, you become more attractive and you become less attached. And that way you become more confident, right? So, how you soften rejection is around that process, right? Like I coach these LOs right now, Tony, when they reach out to real estate agents, it's working like a charm. I said, let's get your target list. Let's be very clear what your qualified prospect is. What type of agent do you want to work with? Let's go out there and get you to be seen before you're known, like, trusted, and loved on social. Let your brand persuade you in advance. So they're building familiarity with you. When you call, I want you to do a no ask voicemail or a no ask call. Literally don't ask for anything. Hi, Tony. My name is Amir. It's great to meet you. You might have known me from social. We've been exchanging comments. I just felt the need to call you today and just say, I'm really impressed with what you're doing. To see someone as successful as you and as humble says a lot. I hope you and I can actually meet one day. That's all I was calling, to just pay you a compliment. That's it.
I like that.
Bada bing, bada boom. That's it, man. So you just make a deposit. You have no pressure of asking for anything. You say that 20 times a week. At the end of the month, you got 50, 60 people now like, I like that guy. and then you put them in the sequence.
It's kind of hard to get rejected when you're not asking for anything, right?
Dude, the amount of no ask DMs, no ask VMs, no ask TMs, emails, text messages, direct messages, voicemails that I put out there, Tony, at the volume that I do, I'm planting so many sales seeds that will germinate on the right fertile soil or not. That's the secret behind all this, dude.
That's I don't think I've ever heard it framed exactly that way. We talk a lot about buying brain cells and planting seeds and sales, but you just gave a perfect roadmap on how to do it. And I don't think it can go understated. What you said is that the people that have fear of rejection, they're not making enough calls. And to me, this can be a vicious circle if people aren't careful, because you're not making enough calls because you have call reluctance. And so your fear of rejection because you're not making enough calls, right? This is a very small circle. You got to make the circle a little bit bigger, and you got to add in the things that you said, Amir, which is you got to identify your prospect clearly, and you have to really understand what can bring value and what do they need. What do they need from you, and then frame how it is that you can solve the problem. You can bring the value that they need. Like, until you do those couple things and then make the calls, and then a couple no-ask calls and a little bit of social media to get your name out there, to soften up the relationship, to buy some brain cells, to put some deposits into the bank ahead of time,
Right.
Then you can make those calls, and your likelihood of rejection is a lot less. Like, we just solved all the world's prospecting problems right here, Amir. Right here.
We solved sales starvation on this call, man.
I love it.